Hi, I'm James with British Customs. Today I'm going to show you how to install our Shorty Predator Pro slip-ons on this 2024 T120 Bonneville. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to install the bushing in there. So we want to pull the spacer out of there first. Let's roll that in. And you want to put your spacer so it's going to the inside of the bike, towards the swing arm. And install our clamp on the end here with the bolt facing down to the inside. And when we go together, you need to make sure that this ends up flush before you tighten this down. And that's going to give you the best clamp load to keep this pipe nice and tight. Next, we want to install our gasket here. And we want to loosen up this heat shield. It's going to help us get this clamp into position there. Use our 5mm Allen. You don't need to take the screw all the way out. If you do, it makes it a little more difficult to get that clamp lined up back in there. You just want to loosen it up so that we can get some movement out of that. So now we're ready to slide this in. Make sure this is going between the swing arm and the frame here. Slide that in. I can get, if you don't loosen that up, it makes it really hard to get that clamp in there. So. Okay, now we're going to grab our foot peg and the spacer. The spacer is going to go in there. We want to make sure that we line this pin up right there with that hole that keeps this from spinning after it's all tightened down. And if you don't line it up, you'll break it and there'll be nothing to keep it from spinning. Let's get that in there. Line up tab on the pipe there. Get our nut. That on the back side. And just like when we removed it, we're going to put pressure to keep that bolt from spinning. Use our 12mm ratchet and tighten that up. Okay. Now we can use our 10mm socket. We're going to tighten this clamp up. Make sure it's flush. You also want to make sure that the pipe isn't making any contact with the swing arm. If it is, you can pull this out just a little bit as you tighten this down, and that'll keep it out. Tighten that up so it's not moving around. We get our 5mm Allen. We can tighten up the heat shield. Now we can move on to the other side. So to install this side, it's exactly the same as the other side, with the one exception. If you're running a center stand, you need to install this bumper into the pipe. Make sure it's mushroomed out inside there so that it stays on. And that will stop the center stand when it comes up. If you're running a side stand, no center stand, you don't need that bumper. We've got our gasket installed there. Got this loose. We'll put our clamp on. The bolt is facing down to the inside of the bike. Got our bushing in place with the spacer to the inside of the bike. So now we can slide the pipe on, get the spacer in. Slide that in a bit. Get the other spacer. I'm going to put it in there. Grab our foot peg. Make sure you got the pin aligned with that hole. Get that through. Line up the exhaust. Put our nut on the other side. Just like before, we want to put pressure to keep that bolt from spinning. Make sure that the pin is aligned before you tighten it down. Make sure you don't have any contact between the pipe and the swing arm there. If you do, you can roll that out a little bit until it's not making contact. It really shouldn't be though. Use a 10mm socket. Make sure the clamp is flush with the end of the pipe there. Tighten that up. If you need to, you roll that out a little bit and then tighten that, and that'll keep it in place so it's not hitting the swing arm. Get our 5mm. Tighten up the heat shield. And that's how you install the Shorty Predator Pro.